Hello everyone, this is John from WP Mayor, and today we're going to review the MasterPress plugin. MasterPress is available from masterpressplugin.com for the sum of 99 Australian dollars. So what is MasterPress? MasterPress can be described as a content management plugin for WordPress and is probably most similar to the Toolset plugin, which we have covered earlier on our blog. However, today it's MasterPress time, so let's take a look at the features pertaining to this plugin. As can be expected, one of the main features of this plugin is the ability to create custom post types. And this section right here on the features page is all about custom post types. We'll check out the features when we get to the demo section, but right now I'm just gonna go through all the features listed on this page. There's a taxonomy user interface, where you can edit existing taxonomies such as categories or tags, or even create your own taxonomies to go with the custom post types. Thirdly, you can also create field sets, which we'll get to when we get to the demo. And most importantly, you have an object-oriented theme API, which enables you to display the content you'd have to create it within the custom post types on the front end. Interestingly enough, role management also plays an important part of this plugin. So within MasterPress, you've actually got a full-featured role management system where you can create new roles, edit existing roles, and also edit or add delete capabilities pertaining to each role. Masterplan is the term MasterPress uses to describe your complete content management setup. So within the Masterplan package, you can export, import, and even backup all the content on your website. Very important is the ability to create objects, but also to relate these objects. So you can actually relate custom post types to each other, something which ain't possible by default within WordPress. So this is a very important feature of MasterPress. Obviously, there are other niceties which are listed here. For example, the fact that MasterPress is ready for Retina display. There is also content versioning included, shared field sets, and of course, the fact that MasterPress works perfectly well on multi-site. So we're ready to take a look at how MasterPlan works. And this is the demo I want to show you. I've got MasterPress installed on a multi-site WordPress installation, and as you can see, everything works fine. Now, the first thing I want to say is that the user interface is really excellent. I mean, I've been blown away by the attention to detail that the developer has paid to the user interface. And I'll be pointing out some small things, but actually very helpful things that have been implemented in this plugin. And I really like other plugin developers watching this video to take note of these features and implement them in their own plugins where applicable. So back to the MasterPress plugin, we can see that it has added a MasterPlan menu item in the dashboard menu. Now the MasterPlan system here is what encompasses all the features of MasterPress. So on the main screen here, you can see all the post types, all the taxonomies, templates, and all other related things. You can also export and import, and you can also make a backup of all your settings in MasterPlan. All right, so we're on the post types interface, which you can see right here, and you can see how easy it is to really take a look at all the post types available right here. So the articles and the issues post types are ones I've already created myself, while the media, pages, and posts are those which come by default with WordPress. Taking a look at the taxonomies submenu, we have the categories and tags taxonomies, and these come with WordPress. We have two templates which are fetched from the template being used, the theme being used. And we've also got a summary of all user roles within my current website. So we've got, for example, the administrator, which has 62 capabilities, and so on and so forth for the other user roles. Coming to site field sets, we have nothing, so we'll create one later on, and also shared field sets is currently empty. So let's take a look at the post types. So taking a look at, for example, the articles post type I've created earlier, you have the singular name, the plural name, icon. You can also disable a post type, so it won't be visible in WordPress, which can be handy if you want to delete or remove actually from site the default posts type. You can also enter a description, choose whether the post type will be hierarchical or not, show user interface, show a nav menu, show an admin menu. For those of you familiar to the WordPress custom post type creation function, you'll see that all these elements here are a reflection of the code needed to create a custom post type. But the difference is that you're not using any code at all, which makes it very accessible for people who are not so familiar with PHP. You can also default manage order, choose a default manage order. And here's an interesting one. You can control the visibility of this post type within WordPress. And that's a multi-site specific option. So you can show the post type with all sites, on specific sites, or also exclude from specific sites. There's also the taxonomies, the question of taxonomies. Will the categories, post tags, or other taxonomies be attached to this post type or not? To attach, just click there. Then we have the interface for creating a post. In this case, we only want to support the title, and we have no need for editor, trackbacks, comments, etc. We've also specified the columns to show in the manage listing, which is this thing here. Articles, okay. So this option here regarding columns will influence the columns shown here. Same for the issues. You can do stuff like show the cover of this magazine, of this issue, for example. So that's very, very handy. So as you can see, it's also suitable not only for beginners, but also for developers, because to create such stuff, it takes some time, and to create them programmatically, I mean. So being able to do them with the click of a button through MasterPress is a real time saver, even for developers. Here's another time saver, for example. You can actually drag and drop within the dashboard menu. So you can create a post type and choose its position within the admin menu very easily. You can choose the URL options, query and data options, labels, and so on. There's lots and lots of options here for each custom post type. The next thing I want to go through briefly is the creation of field sets. So every post type can have a number of field sets associated with it. To give you an example, let's go into this issue right here. And you can see that for the issue post type, we have a title, we have the details, which include the cover image, subtitle, and synopsis. So how do we go about creating this very beautiful interface right here, which is not default WordPress functionality? The answer is using field sets. So let's go and take a look at this field set right here. So here's the field set, which we've called details. And within this field set, we've added these fields. To add a new field, we just hit the add new field button, and you just enter a name for your field. Choose a field type, which can be any of the field types we described earlier, all these. And you can also add things like maximum length, maximum width, font, default values, field labels, whether it's available again on just one site or all sites, capabilities, and of course there are options depending on each field type. Again, you can also set the position of your field within the other fields of the same field set. Now, honestly, I could spend another hour or two probably going through all the fantastic features offered by MasterPress. But obviously, this is just an introduction video, so I won't be going into so much detail. However, what I would suggest is that you go through the videos offered on the blog of MasterPressPlugin.com. And here's one of them, actually. So there are at the moment 3 episodes, including 1, 2, and this one, which is episode 3, where Travis, who's the creator of this plugin, goes through typical usage of MasterPress, creating a magazine website, which that's why obviously you need to create the articles and issues custom post types. And it's where he explains how everything is tied together very nicely. It's a very good example of how to use MasterPress. So highly recommended for those of you who are interested in the capabilities of this plugin. Check out these videos. So we're back into our demo, and what I want to do right now is to show you some of the best and most impressive features with regards especially to user interface, which I've encountered in this plugin. Again, hopefully I want not only to show potential users how MasterPress works, but also I want to inspire other plugin developers to create this level of user interfaces, because this is really what WordPress needs. Plugins such as this one, which really take the user interface seriously. Here's the first one I want to show you. When you hover over a taxonomy or a post type, you'll see the corresponding taxonomy or post type, which is associated with the one you're currently hovered upon. So in our case, right now we're hovering over the post type. So the star items are on categories and post tags, which are the 2 taxonomies associated with posts. Since issues does not have any taxonomy associated with it, the star items don't show up. Another thing that MasterPlan gets right is the interface. So here we are on the default interface used by WordPress when it comes to just listing posts, for example. Now let's go to the post types management screen on MasterPress, and you barely notice that you're not in a native WordPress page because the interface is so similar. So this is another thing that plugin developers should keep in mind. Always try to keep your user interface as similar and native to WordPress as possible. Okay, so here's another one. When I create a post type and I enter a singular name, say car, and I go to the next field, the plural name is automatically filled in for me. Now this has more to do with the time saving aspect of using this plugin. What I'm going to show you right now is some of the restrictions you can put when a user inputs some data in a field. For example, if I create a field type image, you can also change what file types are allowed right here by just clicking on these options. Really, really easy. You can also set the maximum file size. And you can also sanitize the file name. Very handy. Now these are all things that you'd have to do programmatically if there wasn't the interface that MasterPress gives you. So this is a very, very handy feature for developers. Here's another one I really like. So I've created an HQ custom post type, and one of the fields here is an image. So I can upload an image from computer, from media library, from URL, but also I can drag and drop. So if I go here on my computer and drag an image, you can see how beautiful this interface is for uploading an image. You can also zoom into the image and you got all the details here. So really this is the kind of user interface we should be striving for, when it's really easy for a user to understand and make things happen. As you can guess, there are many features which I'd like to highlight, so I could go on and on, but the bottom line is that the user interface of this plugin is excellent and you really enjoy using this plugin. So before we wrap it up, I'd just like to take a look at the documentation section, which is always an important part of any plugin. So let's go ahead and take a look at the docs section on the website. The documentation section of the MasterPress website is very comprehensive. It's basically divided between the Getting Started guide and the Developer guide. Obviously, the Getting Started guide is ideal for those who have just purchased the plugin, while the Developer guide is suitable to others who have already some experience and would like to take their skills further. If we take a look at the Getting Started guide, we can see topics like requirements, how to install MasterPress, initial setup, entering your license key, and also plugin sections of the plugin. Of course, there are also other sources of documentation and help, such as the support forums. Taking a look at the developer guide, on the other hand, we see some handy code recipes, the class reference, and also a description of the key concepts of MasterPress. Things like how MasterPress API was built and some classes which are used within MasterPress. We've come to the end of this review, so thanks for watching, and as a final word I will tell you that I have really enjoyed using and testing MasterPress, and I can see it becoming one of the best and leading plugins in this area of WordPress in the coming months. This is only MasterPress 1.0, which really promises well for future versions. If this is just version 1, what can we expect from version 1.5 or version 2.0? Finally, we also have to take a look at the price. At $99, there's a lot of features packed into this plugin, especially now that there's a special offer at $89. So I highly recommend this plugin, and I can't wait to have your user feedback after trying out this plugin. So if any one of you has purchased or will purchase the plugin, please leave a comment below, and even if you have any questions about this plugin, please leave a review either on our YouTube channel or on the post on WP Mayor.